Hey, what's up? Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever you get your podcast needs from. It's your boy KaRon, Caddell, on this beautiful Wednesday night, coming live from you with Sports Talk with KC, and I'm of course your host KC. We got a lot of sports to talk about. We got some big news around the NFL, NCAA, recruiting, NBA. Strap up, just relax, enjoy the show, man. I appreciate all my supporters, all the people who have held it down on this channel for the last 3 years, man. It's been a great time, bro. Um, First up, before we even get started, please like, share, and subscribe to Title Town TV on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or whatever you get your podcast needs from. Um, let's go ahead and get into it, man. First up, we got news yesterday from the NFL that the Patriots would not be retaining coach, Hall of Fame coach, future Hall of Fame legendary coach Bill Belichick following this season, man. They decided to part ways with old Bill, man. Super Bowl winning coach 6 times, of course, with the great Tom Brady. The GOAT, arguably, he's also in that GOAT conversation as far as coaches. The Bill Parcells, the John Maddens of the world, people like that across the NFL, who has made a great impact on the game. But yeah, man, Bill Belichick, I'm just very surprising. Always, when I think of the Patriots, of course, Tom Brady was the first name to come to mind, but after him, it's really Bill, man. Of course, those magical seasons, Randy Moss and Wes Walker had there in New England, but Bill Belichick is one of those guys who I've always think about when I think about New England. I don't see who could possibly take over for him. Maybe one of his former disciples like Josh Daniels, who no longer who's coaching for the Raiders right now. Probably won't be much longer, but he would be a great replacement. They still want to keep that Patriot way, that Patriot pipeline. Does this happen? Wow. Breaking news from backstage. Draymond Green has been suspended indefinitely by the NBA following his attack on Yusuf Nurkic during the Phoenix Suns Golden State Warriors game. Um, I'm very surprised by this. He's done. I'm not surprised by this because of how he's done this season. Getting to a physical altercation with Rudy Gobert choking him. Yusuf Nurkic, the previous years of Draymond Green, of course, him and Jordan Poole fight last year before the season even got started. Draymond Green is one of my favorite players. I wouldn't say of all time, but like far as like ability, far as him as a personality, he's a great defender, of course, like that. But we definitely have some issues going on mentally, whether it's anger management issues or just flat out just not having control of self control in heated moments like that. I pray he gets the help he needs. Maybe one of the OGs, Charles Barkley, Shaq, Rasheed Wallace, guy who's faced a lot of scrutiny in the past for his technical fouls and has missed multiple games throughout his career, could reach out and lend a hand to helping him get over the issues he's got going on, and he can get back to the Golden State Warriors organization. But that is a quick NBA update. I was definitely want to mention the altercation between him and Yusuf Nurkic. He definitely laid him out last night. And finally get the final word from the suspension. Thanks to my backstage crew doing that for me, getting the information out to me. But yeah, man, how long do you think Draymond's going to be out? You think he'll be the rest of the season, playoffs, whatever, next season? Please let me know in the comment section how long you think he will get. Of course, we are approaching the return of the one John Morant, who was suspended for the first 25 games due to some off the field issues, flashing the gun, and his friends live and other altercations that has resulted in him not to be looked in a positive light off the court. We know how good of a player he is, and the Memphis really desperately need him. So, how do you think he will do once he gets back in Memphis, back with his team, and how do you think the team will perform? We know last year when he did miss those games, they played a lot better without him, but a lot of those pieces that were there last year aren't there no more or even hurt. Steven Adams, a big locker room leader, is not playing this season. He got hurt before the season even started, and so that's a big blow to their team. Of course, Dylan Brooks is now in Houston after signing a big contract from the Rockets. I'm feeling like him is not around anymore. Derrick Rose is now there, who's been filling in for him, and Marcus Smart. Derrick Rose is a big locker room guy. I'm sure he's not there to babysit Ja Morant. He's there to compete and also play as well. But hopefully, he gets with Ja Morant and I wouldn't say mentor or babysit anything like that, but at least what I'm saying, give him the veteran guidance. What do you guys think in the comment section? Moving on to some NCAA recruiting news. Got two players I want to talk about real quick before we dive into the transfer portal and also the NFL towards the end of the show. Ryan Williams has number one receiver in the 2025 class. Has reclassified to the 2024 class. Will arrive here in Tuscaloosa at the University of Alabama this summer in I think June. I think he's listed to come after graduation or whatever. To arrive early, a year early. What do you guys think about that? You think he's running from the high school competition? I hear a lot of words about he's dodging the high school competition, which I don't really think that's really the issue. It's really stupid. You going a level up, you know what I'm saying? But I really think Alabama needs a guy like that, especially with Ja'Cory Brooks, a guy who we're going to talk about later on, leaving Alabama programs as a spot open and receiver core that could definitely be filled by a guy like Ryan Williams, who's super athletic, nice size for a high school kid, could make a big play. So he can definitely find a space early on. Like we've done in the past, man, we've recruited very well receiving wise, and of course Calvin Ridley's and the Amari Coopers and the Jerry Jeudy's, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smiths, all those guys play early and often, man. So getting a guy in like Ryan Williams, even a year younger than what he's supposed to be there, you know what I'm saying, could benefit that team so much. And so I can't really see his arrival. And another guy we want to talk about real quick in recruiting is more on the possibly flipping from Georgia is quarterback Dylan Raiola. I think that's how you say his name. He's either currently visiting or going to visit Nebraska, where his uncle is one of the coaches on their staff, who recently just got an extension, a bit of a raise. So enticing his nephew to come to Nebraska could definitely help his job security even more. So that's just some quick recruiting news. Things are shaking up across the NCAA landscape with the transfer portal this season. Already, man, just a couple days in. So getting a big commitment flip to Nebraska like that could definitely help a lot. I know they were in running for former Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord, he's no longer going there. He's that's out of his list of teams he might go to. But yeah, man, this is definitely could be a big thing for Nebraska. I'm really hoping he stays with Georgia, goes in there, compete with Carson Beck, and get Georgia back to their winning ways, man. Of course, I'm a Bama fan, and I love seeing us beat them and take it over their playoff spot and all that. But having more competition in a quarterback room for Georgia could go long ways for Carson Beck. Could go a long ways with Dylan Raiola years down the line when it's his time to start, or even when if he does take over for Carson Beck, he is ready to play. So practice every day against one of the top defenses in the country would definitely go a long way. What else we got? I guess we're gonna stick with the NCAA transfer news. A lot of notable players here, man. A record. I think we're up to almost 3,000 names, if not over 3,000 players in the transfer portal. I want to just read out some names real quick, say where they're coming from and where they're going to possibly next season. First up, we have I think fifth or sixth year senior Dylan Gabriel coming from Oklahoma, going to Oregon, possibly taking over Bo Nix. Bo Nix does have another year eligibility, but we all expect him to move on to the league. I'm sure Dylan Gabriel made that move, expecting Bo Nix to move on to the NFL. That name might ring a bell to you guys. Dylan Gabriel is a former UCF quarterback and transferred to Oklahoma this season. Of course, Oklahoma moving on to the SEC this season. He's possibly looking at Oregon and the Pac-12 being a better conference, easier conference to win going forward. But yeah, actually, the Pac-12 was very competitive this season too. You had Oregon, who lost the same two games, just only lost two games by the same team. Oregon, Washington. Speaking of Washington, undefeated in the playoffs this season. Colorado, a lot of people have a lot of expectations on them, even despite only them winning 4 games. It's a much improvement from last year, losing 10 plus games. So definitely good things are going on in Colorado. They've already started to build the offensive line again, the defense again. So the weak points, they are the biggest thing they're doing right now, and getting together in recruiting and also in getting transfers to help the O line and that defense. Who else? Washington State was very competitive this season. Cameron Ward, another quarterback, is in their transfer portal who's really really good, one of the top quarterbacks this season. Cameron Ward should get a lot of recruiting. A lot of teams calling for his services. Of course, like Ohio State, who's a big contender right now, who can use the quarterback services of Cameron Ward. The Floridas, the Mississippi States of the world. South Carolina, Spencer Rattler just declared. So we could definitely see a lot of movement as far as the quarterback goes. UCLA, Dante Moore, who's also transferring. He has made some big time plays for UCLA this season. So, yeah, man, the Pac-12 is very competitive. Oregon State losing DJ Ogalale, and also his backup Hayden Childs or Chiles. I'm not sure how to say his last name. He's also leaving Oregon State as well. So the Pac-12 had some great players last season. So Dylan Gabriel dodging that smoke over from the SEC smoke for the Pac-12, man. It might not be any easier. You had Caleb Williams at USC, being the top quarterback in the nation. Who's been the top quarterback since he was at Oklahoma this past season, and so if he returns for his senior season, which some people are expecting to do it because of how much money could possibly make him and Marvin Harrison Jr. Guys like that coming back for another season could make a lot of money. So we'll see. Texas, University of Texas backup quarterback Malik Murphy is leaving Texas. It's rumored that Quentin Ayers is rumored to return to Arlington, Texas, to Texas, and so that could be a huge reason why. And also, of course, Arch Manning's there, and so he probably have to compete again for the backup job. And he probably won't start right now. He probably feel like he is a starter in the league. Who else we got? Talk about Ohio State quarterback. a guy who was very highly recruited, highly thought of coming to this season. Tyler Van Dyke, if he would have had put a good season, he probably could be one of the first quarterbacks taken this season. But didn't have a great season and is now transferring to Wisconsin. Riley Leonard, the quarterback from Duke, is leaving there. Devin O'Leary, after transferring from uh, North Carolina State to Kentucky this past season, is now leaving Kentucky. T.J. Jefferson, Arkansas starting quarterback for the last few seasons, is leaving Arkansas. His running back Raheem Sanders is leaving as well. Travis Etienne, little brother Trevor Etienne, is leaving Florida, along with Kyle McCord. Julian Fleming is leaving Ohio State. Ja'Cory Brooks and the D lineman Isaiah Haskins is leaving Alabama. Former offensive lineman from the Houston Cougars is now playing for Colorado. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, Colorado is focusing on this offseason with their weaknesses. Their weakness was in the trenches, on the offensive line, and defense. They are focusing on those key spots, man. So look out for Colorado to get a lot of these transfer players, a lot of big time recruits on the offensive line and defense. They have a lot of talent on offense. Shadir Sanders will be back at quarterback. Travis Hunter probably will be back on both sides of the ball, but we know we can do as a receiver threat. When he gets the ball in his hand, man, and a guy like Tyler Johnson would definitely help that Colorado offensive line. Who else we had? Coach Carolina's quarterback Grayson McCall, after spending his first 4 years at Coastal Carolina, is moving on from there. I think he's trying to go to a big time program where he could show his ability, show his ability on the bigger stage, and looking probably to get drafted. Of course, like anyone in the in college sports, amateur sports is always trying to go pro. So, good luck to him. Leading receiver Deion Burks from Purdue is leaving. Ohio State. Kansas State quarterback Will Howard is leaving there after another solid season. Will Rogers is leaving Mississippi State, like I said earlier. So there's a spot there for Cam Ward, KJ Jefferson. Those running quarterbacks could definitely use a offense like Mississippi State. Texas A&M quarterback Max Johnson is transferring again from another program. From that program after leaving LSU a couple seasons ago and arriving in College Station. What up, Reggie, man? Appreciate the support, man. You always tap in with me in the comment section, even if it's not about sports. Just hit me up, saying what's up. I appreciate it, man. Please go go look up Ramen Shaman, the anime by Reginald Waller Jr. He's also a voice actor, rapper, multifaceted guy, man. Please check him out on all platforms, man. We got a couple more to go. Texas Tech quarterback Tyler Sco is transferring from there after being in Oregon last season when Bo was there. And then, of course, we got some sad news. JT Daniels, quarterback at West Virginia. The name might ring a bell. He once started for USC. He once started for Georgia. Now he ended up at West Virginia and now retiring due to his concussion history. But yeah, man, there's a lot of big names in the recruiting portal, man. like I said, around 3,000 players are in the recruiting portal. It's gonna make it tough for these high school recruits, man. So man, bring your best game, your best tape, all to all the high school guys, man. Coming in with a positive mind. Whatever you do, just land that. If you want a bigger stage, go get that bigger stage, man. But ball out wherever you decide to go, man. Get the best foot forward. Try to get as much play time as you can. Collect much tape because this portal is getting very diluted, saturated to the point where it's gonna be hard for these young guys coming out of high school to find them a spot. And it's still some players who from 2 years ago, last year, had all right, sorry about that, man. Somebody was calling me. But like I was saying about the play by Caddell Coney, it's very hard to tell whether someone's offside or not. Uh, uh, so after further review, the refs definitely decided to uh, keep that rule stand, man. Let it stand. But it was a good game though. Like all Bills Chiefs recent game, Josh Allen had a solid game. He was 23 between 42, 233 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Had 10 carries for 32 yards and one touchdown on the ground. James Cook had 10 carries, 58 yards, five catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Receiving, Patrick Mahomes was 25 of 43, 271 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Travis Kelce is consistent with six catches, 83 yards. Rashee Rice had seven catches for 72 yards and a touchdown. Speaking of the Chiefs, of course, this is my team. It was Super Bowl winners last season. They say that the NFL may be rigged. I'm not saying I'm not one of those guys who say that. I think these people go out there and put on the best game possible for these fans. They're not saving points. They're not holding back to allow another team to win to follow the strip. I don't think that. But they're saying that the NFL logo for the Super Bowl have predicted the winner. The not the winner. The participants of the Super Bowl. Last season we had a red and orange silhouette for the logo last season. Of course, my Chiefs won the Super Bowl last season, and so people would want to say that they predicted the Super Bowl. Now the Super Bowl for this season logo has a second color scheme. Originally, it was red and purple, possibly signifying the 49ers Ravens rematch from a few years, Super Bowls ago. Now they have a second logo with a different color scheme, which is now blue and red. When I first saw it, and I was thinking about this whole conspiracy or whatever, and diving into it myself, and I was thinking Cowboys Chiefs. The Cowboys are really hot right now. Despite the Chiefs losing this season, we know how good they can be defensively and offensively. So once they get together, I can definitely see that. And another one I can definitely see as a sleeper, a team that beat them this past weekend, the Bills, and then the 49ers on the other side, with it being blue and red. It's more of a navy blue and more of instead of a royal blue or a dark blue. It's definitely more of that royal blue color like the Cowboys. So it could definitely be the Cowboys, but it could be the 49ers and the Bills as well. I don't want to, dive too much into that. I just want to bring that to you guys' attention. If you guys think that's true, please hit the comment section with a thumbs up, or rigged or not rigged, or your team colors. Who you like see them play in the Super Bowl? I'm sure you guys are rooting for them to get there. Speaking of upsets and strange games, we have the Tennessee Titans upsetting the Miami Dolphins 28-27. Will Levis was 23 of 38, 327 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Had a great game. Derrick Henry had 2 touchdowns on the ground despite only going for 34 yards on 17 carries. His backup, Tajay Spears, caught the ball out of backfield really well. Had 6 receptions for 89 yards, 7 carries, 29 yards on the ground. DeAndre Hopkins with a bit of a resurgence this year, getting some cohesion with Will Levis. Had 7 catches for 124 yards, 1 touchdown. The opposing quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, had 23 of 33, 240 yards. Raheem Morrison had 96 yards on the ground, 21 carries. Leading receiver for the Miami Dolphins yesterday, Monday, was Jalen Waddle with 6 receptions for 70 yards. Grow Tide. The Dolphins are much better than they performed this past Monday. A team like them shouldn't beat them on paper, but for me, sports are a lot about team sports, a lot about matchups. And so if I match up well with you in this area and that area, and your weakness is my strength, then I might possibly have a chance to beat you, despite I might be losing every game this season, but I might beat you this. Kind of like with Auburn, with the Alabama. Like, they match up very well against us. We've seen how close the game was this season. We've seen how much they brought it. They hit us in the mouth. They played physical with us. They matched the intensity. So, of course, a team like Auburn will compete with us. Of course, a team like Tennessee Titans are going to compete with the Miami Dolphins. I'm not surprised how this game. I'm surprised by that they won, but I'm more surprised on the Dolphins not being dominant as they have been as of late. Tyreek didn't have a big performance. Tua had a pretty average game, so hopefully the Dolphins get it back together and before the playoff starts and play good going into it. The Giants stop a red hot Green Bay team 24-22. Third string quarterback Tommy DeVito was 17 or 21, 158 yards and 1 touchdown. Saquon Barkley was 20 carries for 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson was the leading receiver for the Giants on the night with six receptions for 79 yards. Jordan Love had one of his off games, one of his very few off games this season. Was 25 of 39, 218 yards, 1 interception. One touchdown, 1 interception. AJ Dillon had 15 carries on 53 yards on 15 carries. Rookie Tyler Kraft had 4 receptions for 64 yards. one of those games where they match up very well. They ran the ball on a Green Bay. They kept the ball out of Jordan Love's hands. Uh, Tommy DeVito made smart throws. Was able to get to a victory. It might not be the best thing for the organization, who was probably looking to to have a better draft position. But hey, man, these players don't like to lose. They don't like tanking. I don't understand. So I wouldn't either. Next game up, we have a very boring game with the Minnesota Vikings defeating the Las Vegas Raiders in the worst game ever. Literally the worst game ever. The most boring game ever. I'm not sure if it was a defensive struggle or offensive struggle. I'm not sure. But yeah, man, the final score for this game was 3-0. Only no touchdown scored. Only only one field goal. Back third string quarterback Nick Mullins came in relief for Josh Dobbs. Had 9 of 13, 83 yards. Josh Dobbs was 10 of 23 for 63 yards. Alexander Madison was 10 for 66 yards. TJ Hawkinson was the leading receiver for the Minnesota Vikings on the night with 5 receptions, 53 yards. As for the Las Vegas Raiders, Aiden O'Connell was 21 of 32, 117 yards, and of course, no touchdown, 1 interception. Josh Jacobs, former Bama running back, Pro Bowl running back, had 13 carries for 34 yards. Leading receiver for them was Devontae Adams, of course, had 7 receptions for 53 yards and no touchdowns. Terrible game, man. It was kind of a snooze fest. I didn't watch much of it. Every time I turned on the TV, it was 0-0. It seemed like until, of course, till the end. So, man, it wasn't a very entertaining game. Of course, some defensive battles are very good, but then the offense didn't play well. Neither one, man. Like Raiders or the Vikings offense played well to even be like, well, the defense is shutting down or whatever like that. No, they just played bad all around. Last game, we have a very exciting finish to this game. We have the the Ravens beat the Rams in overtime, 37-31, after a punt return by Talon Wallace for a touchdown. After after in the game 31-31, they headed to overtime, and on the first possession of the Rams' first possession of overtime, they punted the ball away, and Talon Wallace took it back for a touchdown. Um, the Rams, they still have some key pieces in place to win some games and do some things offensively. Matt Stafford is healthy again. Cooper Kupp had 115 yards and a touchdown. Newcomer Puka Nacua had 84 yards on 5 receptions. KaRon Williams had 114 yards and on 25 carries. I mentioned before, Matthew Stafford, 23 of 41, near 300 yards with 294 yards and 3 touchdowns. They were able to sack defense. They were able to sack Lamar Jackson 2 times, forcing an interception. So yeah, man, the Rams kept it close. They kept in the game. Maybe this season isn't the year they go to the playoffs with that 49ers ruling over that division. Seattle's probably the second class of that, but Rams, Cardinals at the end. Rams could definitely make some noise after they reshape their team around and do some things, man. I pray that Aaron Donald does not retire, but hey, it is what it is. He had a great career, first team ballot Hall of Famer. Lamar Jackson, as for Lamar Jackson, he was 24 43, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Lamar Jackson also had 7 yards on the ground to lead all rushers for the 49ers. Odell Beckham had 4 receptions, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. Isaiah Likely filling in for Mark Andrews, who's out on injury, had 83 yards and a touchdown on 5 receptions. Zay Flowers was 6 catches for 60 yards and 1 touchdown for the rookie receiver, man. This was a pretty game. It was probably the best game of the season. It definitely made up for the Vikings Raiders game. It's a game that was 3-0 and a game that went to overtime. Like, whew. Thank God we made it. We made it through all that, man. I got some questions I want to leave you guys with before we close out the show. Bill Belichick. You think you're getting a coaching job? You think you should retire? And another question: who do the Patriots turn to? Is it Matt Patricia, who's had coaching experience with the Detroit Lions, and also is a part of that Patriot Way Factory? A guy like Eric Bellamy, who coaching as the offensive coordinator for the Commanders, might be without a job because Ron Rivera is probably not going to retain his job after this season. Could he be looking to be a head coach around this league somewhere? Maybe New England is that place. We'll see about that. Josh McDaniels might not be the coach of the Raiders next season, so that could be another possibility for the Patriots. Draymond Green, a situation another I want to talk with y'all guys about. Should he be suspended for the rest of the season? No playoffs, nothing, just flat out suspended for the rest of the season and just come back next year after his actions this season. You think he need help financially, mentally, and what's next for the Warriors, man? They have not played great basketball this season. The way Draymond Green's acting, they could definitely strip that team down to the bare, man. It could be just Steph Curry and a bunch of cap space. So we'll see, man. It's been a great show. I know it was very short. We didn't make it quite to 8 o'clock just yet. But that's all I have for you guys tonight, man. We talked a lot about recruiting and transfer portal around in the NCAA football. Oh, I know I'm going to talk about. Congratulations to my Lakers, man. Shout out to LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the rest of that Laker organization for winning the first ever in-season tournament, man. Big win for us. I think we got the Spurs tonight after losing to the Mavs last night by 2. We got the Spurs tonight. Big Victor Wembanyama. LeBron isn't playing. Probably needs some rest after that long tournament, and then he's starting back playing again last night. Didn't finish. He did finish the game, but we didn't win the game last night. So he probably need to take a rest off. We probably could beat the Spurs without them. They on a quite of a losing streak as well, kind of like the Detroit Pistons right now. But yeah, man, that's all I have for you guys tonight, man. Please like, share, and subscribe to Titletown TV, Titletown Wrestling on Facebook, Sportstalk with KC, LOL Comedy Hour, each and every Tuesday night on Lamar's Pulling page, Black Man Talk. Please go follow my other castmates and panelists, Anthony McCollins, Jose Dunn. I almost called him Adam Hamner. Please follow their pages. Supreme Dialogue for Anthony, Jose Dunn, and Eddie Z Show for my boy Adam Horner, man. Titletown Wrestling, we'll be back with you very soon, man. I know I've been saying it and we haven't not done it, but for sure, sometimes we will definitely be back with you. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm hoping for tomorrow we get back with you guys, man. We missed talking wrestling with you. I think we're just gonna come out and just talk about wrestling, not really a true topic, and just talk about the landscape around AEW and WWE, what's going on with those two organizations, man. But yeah, man, it was a good show. Love you guys. Peace.